Hey everybody, I'm very happy to see you here today and hopefully you're doing fine. It's been a while since my last episode, however today I would like to share with you with something special. In 2024 I had a chance to join a wonderful project called Truth Treason. It finally premiered in the United States a couple of months ago last year, and in this episode I would like to share a little bit about my experience behind the camera working as a stills photographer on set. In this episode, I will try to include some of the officially released stills, some behind-the-scenes video footage, and I will even revisit some of the locations where we actually shot this film. If you are still interested, feel free to subscribe my channel, like this video, and stay tuned. Let's go! Truth Treason is based on a true story of Helmut Hübner, a young German boy who dared to question everything he was told. He was only 16, living in Nazi Germany during the Second World War, surrounded by propaganda, by voices repeating the same lies over and over. Helmut started to wonder, what if they are not telling us the truth? One night, he tuned into a forbidden radio broadcast from the BBC, and for the first time he heard a different story. A story that didn't match what his government was telling its own people. That moment changed everything for him. Together with two of his friends, he began writing and spreading leaflets filled with actual truth. They knew it was dangerous. They knew being caught could mean prison or even worse. But they believed silence was no longer an option. As the story goes on, Helmut faces impossible choices between obedience and conscience, between fear and fate. Even people he trusted told him to stay quiet, to follow orders, to not make a trouble. But he couldn't look away anymore. Eventually, the Gestapo discovered what he and his friends were doing, and Helmut's world collapsed around him. The film was directed by Matt Whittaker, produced by Russ Kendall and John Foss, and filmed entirely here in Lithuania, with incredible locations, a talented international cast, and a truly dedicated local crew. What I really love about this film is that it's not just about war, it's about courage, about standing up for what's right, even when you're standing alone. It's a story that reminds us that truth still matters, even when it costs something. Working on a Truth Treason was a special experience, not only because of the story, but because of how it was made. Even though the film was produced by an American team, almost everything you see on screen was created right here in Lithuania. The production collaborated with Baltic Film Services, one of the strongest local companies managing international projects in the region. They handled logistics, hired local crew, arranged the locations, and made sure every little piece of the production machine kept moving. And what's really amazing is how seamlessly the American team and the Lithuanian crew worked together. The camera and lighting teams, the art department, the grips, sound, wardrobe, makeup, every single department delivered extremely high-level work. Seeing this mix of international and local talent in action really reminded me how global filming has become. You can tell powerful stories anywhere, as long as the right people come together. As the stills photographer on Truth Treason, my job was to capture the film not in motion, but in single frames. Images that would later be used for marketing, press, posters, thumbnails, articles, and platform promotions. That usually meant three types of work: on-set stills, behind-the-scenes documentation, and occasional BTS video coverage, especially for this project. On-set stills are the most delicate part. You need to be close enough to capture the emotion and detail, but you also have to disappear into the background. Then there is a BTS documentation, showing how the film is actually made, the crew building shots, the director guiding actors, the little creative decisions that no one outside the set ever sees. Working on this production was intense but incredibly rewarding. Every scene required precision and patience, and capturing it all from the sidelines gave me a unique perspective on how the film came together. In this part of the video, I will try to go back to some of the locations where production shot some of the scenes, and I will begin this short tour from here. We are in the middle of Old Town in Vilnius, and this building, as you can see behind me, is looking great, but it's basically empty, abandoned. It used to be a music conservatory school, but now it's just empty, and production quite successfully used all those empty rooms and the backyard, the roof in the backyard for some of the scenes. So basically most of the interiors which you see in the movie were shot here. The church scenes, the church hall is on the second floor behind those windows, and the Helmut's apartment was created there. The Solomon's apartment was created there as well, and also in the backyard, which I can't access right now. We shot a scene where Solomon and Helmut were sitting on the roof and talking about life, what's gonna change with Germany and so on. And basically later on there was a scene on the same roof where Helmut threw all those red leaflets. We had some kind of help from stunt people as well, because actors sat on the corner of the roof, and basically they had to wear harnesses, and the camera shot from the cherry picker to be on the same level. But you know me, I couldn't be on that cherry picker to take pictures, so basically I had to run, you know, through all the floors and rooms just to find a good angle without cherry picker in the frame. Also, the city hall scenes which you see in this movie were created also in this building right there. There was a big hall with a lot of tables, typing machines and everything, and basically this is the building which helped us to create many scenes. So let's go on. Only a couple of 100 meters away from the first location, we have this beautiful street, and many productions use this street for recreating period scenes, because as you can see, all the buildings look nice, and when you dress all this street, the windows and the doors, it looks amazing. So for Truth and Treason it was the same. We had a very big scene with many extras and many period cars, and basically Erwin Musner and Julius had a walk on the sidewalk there while noticing those red leaflets which Helmut had stuck at night period. And it was a kind of hard scene, because everything needed to be, you know, choreographed. All the extras needed to know where to walk and when to release the period cars, and I enjoyed this scene because it helped me to capture really great imagery from further away, to show all the behind the scenes, and yeah, I feel quite happy about it. The old town of Vilnius is quite large, but at the same time quite small, because only also a couple of 100 meters away we have this wonderful street where we had the scene for this project as well. As you can see, it's quite old. You can definitely shoot 1800s, 1900s, even later dates, maybe even earlier dates. And basically the scene was when people were running towards the shelter because of the bombing of Hamburg city, and Helmut was coming towards us with the intention to stick more red leaflets, and basically he found a Nazi newsstand with Nazi propaganda articles and artwork, and basically he ripped them off and placed his red leaflet in the center of it. So it was kind of an intense and interesting scene. On this lovely street, which actually goes there to my high school, we shot two scenes. Both of them were shot during the night time. The first one was a chase between Helmut and Musner coming towards us, and another scene was also kind of a running scene with all three boys coming towards us with the leaflets in their hands. It was shot during the night time. It was kind of a low contrast scene with quite significant amount of atmos smoke, and it was hard. Even my quite good camera couldn't focus properly, because basically the boys were like a black silhouettes, not enough details for an autofocus system to catch on, but eventually I managed to get few shots, and basically now you are seeing it on the screen probably, so those three boys under the arch somewhere there. I think it kind of represents the story quite well, and with these kind of shots you just help producers to promote the stories even better. Here we started shooting Truth and Treason. It was a day one when we had a scene with all the boys coming from there up until here, and them, all of them noticing that something is written on the doors of their church, which is behind the camera over there. And this location is quite famous in Vilnius, because as you can see, it looks very old. You can shoot different kind of periods, and during that day one I made quite a great image, which was published quite regularly in the various press articles, with all of the boys standing in front of this house. And I tried to use different lenses, but eventually 24 to 70 was the way to go for this specific shot. Now we have some constructions over here, but I hope this will stay as it is, because it's very cinematic. Unfortunately, some locations won't be used for shooting movies or series anytime soon, because at the time when we shot Truth and Treason, this was open place, but now this building became a school with the fence, and basically you can't go in. But back then we had the scene with Carl and younger Nazi boys where they had a fight in the middle of night, and after that fight Carl understood that he needs to help Helmut with those red leaflets. Nice. Behind me you see a building where we shot a court scene for Truth and Treason. It took us almost 3 days to shoot all the scenes, all the angles, all the shots, and now it's not nice, it's autumn, no leaves. In the summer it was way more beautiful here, but that's the backyard. And because this building has windows only from this side, and there were no light sources inside visible in the shots, so basically our DOP with Gaffer had to decide to light everything from outside. So we had a couple of big HMI lights punching all the light necessary for the scene through the windows there. And because we shot it during a couple of days, the consistency was the key. So it was kind of very good choice for such scene, because we are on the ground level, and you can place the lights and leave it. If this location would be on the second floor, third floor, it would have been way harder to keep the consistency and shoot fast. This building is very nice, but the front side is even better. This is the last location which I would like to show you. What you can see is a very beautiful building, and we use this for a facade of Nazi Gestapo headquarters. So basically Erwin Müssner used to go in, go out. We had different scenes during the daytime, during the nighttime, and what I really remember quite vividly is when I made some portraits with Erwin Müssner standing on the stairs at night time, and posing for me for a few shots. And also there was another very great scene where Julius was sleeping in his car placed here, and Erwin went inside. During that time Helmut sticked a few leaflets on the newsstand which was there behind that car as well. And when Erwin came back to the car, he saw Helmut running towards like a little bit there, and then they started chasing each other, and it was a very fast scene. The light was beautiful, and yeah, we had another also very beautiful scene with Erwin and his wife with kids sitting in the car placed here and having a chat through the window. Also because this is a library of medicine, they have a lot of books in the basements, and we used those basements for the city hall scenes where basically Helmut found those red leaflets. This concludes my short behind-the-scenes look of Truth and Treason. It was a privilege for me to work on this project and to collaborate with such talented filmmakers, both local and international. Huge thank you for all the producers, for the director, for Baltic Film Services and whole Lithuanian crew for trusting me with my stills and BTS video coverage. And of course, thank you for watching. Until the next time, goodbye!